Have a balance section in your design. The steel and the concrete should yield at the same time. Should there be any problem? All right, good morning, beautiful people. So we are still talking about why building collapse, okay? So today I want to talk about balance section. Today I want to talk about balance section. So when you're doing your design as a structural engineer, there are a few things you need to understand, okay? This still boils down to the same thing I keep preaching about percentage of steel to concrete, okay? When you have a balance section, okay, let's say for your columns or even if it's beams, let me just use column for instance. When you have a balance section, whenever that material wants to yield, the steel and the concrete yields at the same time, okay? That is what we call a balance section. A balance section is such that whenever the materials want to yield, both the compressive member, the tension member yield at the same time. So one is not yielding before the other, okay? So this is why you have to be very careful when you're doing your percentage of steel to concrete. Always fall within limit. This is what will guarantee a balance section, okay? A balance section, steel is taking care of what it's supposed to take care of. Concrete is also taking care of what it's supposed to take care of, okay? So this is it. Now, what happens when you are using an under a reinforced section? When you're using an under reinforced section, two things are going to happen. The steel will yield first before the concrete, okay? So that is why in most situations you have an under reinforced section, you end up seeing the column start showing some signs. You start seeing some cracks on the columns, or sometimes you see it try to buckle to one side. So that is the steel in that concrete has failed. The concrete in that section is now taking care of both the compression and the tension in that member, okay? And you know concrete is only good for compression, okay? And when you're doing a limit state design, we ignore the complete ability of concrete in tension. Have a balance section in your design. The steel and the concrete should yield at the same time. Should there be any problem, the steel will yield first before the concrete. And when that steel yields first, the entire tensile force that is supposed to be taking care of that steel, don't forget the steel has yielded, is now going to the column. And that column will show you signs, okay, that, okay, fine, this thing, I am tired, okay, I'm carrying what is more than me, okay, I am taking care of both compression and tension at the same time, and it's not supposed to be like that. Okay, in most cases, this is even better than over reinforced section. What happens in over reinforced section? Over reinforced section is such that you're having more steel than concrete. Okay, at the end of the day, the concrete will yield first. The concrete would reach its elastic limits first than the steel. The steel is still okay, okay, but the concrete has yielded. What happened? The compressive force on the concrete is more than the section of that concrete. And you know, steel is not good in compression, okay? Steel is only having that little compressive ability because it's still inside concrete, okay? So the moment concrete gives way as a result of that compressive force, steel has no ability, steel has to give way, okay? So have a balance section in your design. Let them yield at the same time, okay? This is a balanced and an accurate design. Let's take this very seriously, okay? The balance section is the way to go, okay? So the only advantage you may get in the under reinforced section is it will give you warning. You will start seeing some signs on the column first, and at that point you can have that ability to say, okay, let me start looking for retrofitting, looking for ways to solve this problem before it finally gives way, okay? But in a situation where you're having over reinforced section, I'm telling you, the moment the concrete gives way, still has no strength, everything goes down at the same time, okay? So none of this is good. Have a balanced section. Your percentage of steel to concrete should be as specified by your building codes. Very important.